up, guys? Robert here, bringing you another Robert's Roundup for Friday, September 5th, 2025. So let's get started. So our big story today talks about the Capcom boss, talking about how developing for the PS5 is going to start to cause headaches. He talked about how the price increase is what will hurt developers in the long run. So in this article, it talks about how Monster Hunter Wild came out for the PS5, and it was successful. It was the choice for everybody to play it on the PS5, and now it's not doing so well. And he said it didn't meet his expectations for where they would be at this point. And he goes on to say that it's due to the price increase for PS5. So he said that you got to think, when you add everything together, the PS5's price, the price of a monthly subscription to PS Plus, and the price of the software, it becomes a very expensive endeavor very quickly. To a sense, yeah, he is correct. You got to think with the price increase. So you're going to pay, let's say, $700 for a console. You end up buying the subscription, another $200. You're already almost up to $1,000. Maybe you get another controller. You buy this game at $70. It starts to get very expensive. And he is saying that younger consumers who want to get this game may not experience it on the PS5 because of how expensive everything is going to be. So I do think he has a point there. But I also think it could as well be because when Monster Hunter Wilds came out, it came out with bugs. And, you know, as a gamer, we want our games to be complete. So I think it is, in a sense, the Capcom boss is correct. Price hike would push away younger gamers who, you know, they may casually want to play Monster Hunter Wilds, but can't because it's too expensive for them. And, you know, maybe older people will be willing to buy it, but they're not going to put in enough time to be able to play it. So price hike, I believe, isn't going to help everybody. But, you know, one of the thoughts I was thinking of was for this guy to say that, the Capcom boss, we got to think of how many PS5s are already sold. So your game came out at $70 or more, whatever people are buying. And so if your game didn't do well on the console now, maybe it's something else. Because you got to think, it would help publishers in the future when they're developing a game, maybe when like the PS6 comes out. But if half your consumer base or more already has a PS5 and maybe it's your game, I don't know. That's my thought. Let me know if you're a younger gamer or if you've played Monster Hunter Wilds. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because it seemed kind of weird to me, kind of off that you would say that, but with 80 million consoles sold, somebody should be able to play it, right? Well, we'll see about that. And then the next story is this week, a state of play dropped for the new 007 game from IO Interactive. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Seeing the gameplay, kind of seeing the trailer a little bit more about the game. What are you guys' thoughts? I thought it was okay. It didn't sell me enough to be able to go and spend $300 on the collector's edition that they're trying to sell. Is it worth it? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like the Hitman series, so I'm big on 007. So I don't know how this will pan out, because like you got to think it graphically didn't look as appealing as what you could get out of the PS5. So I think a lot of it is you know, maybe it's a game that could be good. Maybe we got to see a little bit more when it comes out, and next year when we'll be able to get our hands on it, as everybody can play it. Maybe a demo comes out, we all can play and get our hands on it. I think being able to get our hands on it, I mean, I don't know, I thought it was a little underwhelming, especially to give a state of play for just this one game and show it off a little bit like that. Like, I think that there was more better state of plays to be able to do, but that's just my opinion. And hey, Sony can do their state of plays however they want. But yeah, I think it's a little underwhelming. So hopefully the next state of play is much better, and we all can enjoy the next state of play. Speaking of the next state of play, rumor has it that at the end of this month, a new state of play is supposed to be for Marvel's Wolverine. Now, if you remember Marvel's Wolverine, they showcased it, I want to say it was 2021. They kind of gave a brief trailer of Wolverine. He was sitting at the bar, and then all of a sudden his nails come up, and it was like kind of into that. And then Insomniac was talking about they were in development of this game. Since then, we haven't really heard about it, but there was a leak that came out that said that this game was going to be coming out in 2026. Now, it could be that time frame. It could be that opportunity that we do see the state of play. We do see Marvel's Wolverine, and we get a release date. Maybe 2026 is going to be the sweet spot, and Sony's starting to release their good games out now, and who knows? Maybe it might be a good thing to see, but like, I was thinking about it. I was curious to think, okay, so who's going to be like Wolverine's main villain? I mean, you got to think with the X-Men, there's not, like, they're all X-Men. Wolverine's one of the more popular people, but it's going to be Sabretooth, Magneto. Like, who are they going to bring in there to be able to kind of sell the villain that Wolverine's just not going to go over there and like beat everybody, But yeah, I'd be interested. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. So who knows? We'll see it from there. Next story. There's rumors that a new digital version of the PS5 is going to release, but with less power. So I guess in an article, a digital edition of the PS5 base model will have 825 gigabytes of space. So that's part of a new chassis E-series, as opposed to the 1 terabyte of storage in the chassis D model. So if the digital version kind of goes back a couple years, and they released it with 1 terabyte. Of course, digital doesn't have the disc base. All digital, of course, you can buy that separately. But with the more space, kind of saving on money there, will the console be cheaper? They just recently, as we know, last month, they raised the price of the PlayStation by about $50. So if they're reducing the SSD in this one, and you're going to get less space, are they going to reduce the price? I don't think so. Of course, it's just a rumor, but who knows? It seems kind of odd to me that you're going to try to save money by doing that, but then you're going to raise the price and give us a less powerful console, less space, but for more money. I don't know. I don't like it, but we'll see what happens. It's still in the rumor mill. So, and it's we check out how many of you guys like to collect controllers, the DualSense. Well, Astrobot, they're re-releasing the new Astrobot controllers. Several, I want to say maybe 6 months ago, they had some Astrobot controllers that sold out as they were promoting for the new game. Well, they're re-releasing them, and now you can get pre-orders starting next week. Be able to get your hands on a new batch of DualSense PS5 Astrobot controllers. I'm excited. I hope I can get the pre-order. It's going to be at Direct, the PlayStation Direct, as well as some local retailers. You got to check kind of your local retailers where they will have it, but definitely on PlayStation Direct. Check it out. Be able to get your controller and enjoy it. I wasn't one of the lucky ones to be able to get the controller, but who knows, maybe this time I'll be the lucky one to be able to get the controller. So Astrobot controllers, look out for the pre-orders and get your hands on one. So we'll see how that works out. Story, it's going to be all about JRPG games. I'm excited to hear Square Enix is dropping several JRPG games coming out this year. I'm excited. One for this month, Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, the creators of Final Fantasy Tactics came out in a recent interview talking about how they wish that if this game becomes successful, Maybe there might be a remake or a sequel. Maybe add more for the remake of the content of like the PSP stuff that we are missing in this version of Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles that's coming out later this month. But my thoughts on it, I would not want a sequel. I think this game is as good as it gets. I don't think you should have a sequel for this game. I think this game is a masterpiece, one of the best Final Fantasy games ever created. I think you'll just ruin it by having a sequel. But yeah, so what are your guys' thoughts that there possibly could be? I know the creators are talking about they wanted to release the original game how it originally came out, but you do know they lost the source code for the original game, so they had to kind of put it together with War of the Lions and things like that. But if it becomes successful, there are talks about maybe spending budget to get us some more stuff. I don't know. I'm excited just to be able to play this game on the 30th. So get my hands on a copy, be able to play it for you guys, and get that platinum. So I'll be excited about that. And jumping on JRPG news, Octopath Traveler recently came out with more of their story. You know, this game's come out in June, and they say that it's about a revenge story. Now, as you know, Octopath Traveler Zero, not only do they say this is the biggest one yet, about how big it's going to be for gameplay and things like that, but the story actually talks about how, you know, the main hero, the person you be able to create, kind of loses her town from whoever the villain's going to be, and you're building your town to get revenge. So they said that it's based off of a revenge story, and the protagonist kind of wants to come back and destroy, you know how it is usually for the story of revenge. So you lose your hometown, now you want to go after the person for the hometown. But this game is starting to look good with more of the screenshots that are showing, things like that. Definitely be able to get your hands on it when it comes out December 4th. So I'm excited for it. Be able to hear about this revenge story, more gameplay, more trailers of it. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. You know, to end our JRPG news with Tokyo Game Show. And you know who is bringing out all the muscle for Tokyo Game Show? Square Enix. Now, Square Enix is bringing out, they're bringing out their games to be able to play. So they're going to have, you know, some Final Fantasy stuff, kind of their newer stuff. I believe that 14 and Octopath Traveler aren't really going to have playable demos for you, but they're bringing out all their latest content. They're going to have Final Fantasy Tactics stuff there. Kind of all their heavy hitters that they've been talking about the last couple months. But the one thing at Tokyo Game Show they did not mention was Final Fantasy IX Remake, and it leads me to believe that it's probably not going to happen, but I'm hoping that there's a secret reveal. Maybe they'll just shadow drop as they walk off the stage or something. I'm hoping to see that, but if you're bringing out the heavy hitters, why not bring that game out? Everybody's waiting for a more news on it. I think that it's a great time to be able to bring out Tokyo Game Show, but I don't see it happening now. They say that they are going to be having, you know, like their Dragon Quest, their Final Fantasy VII integrated remake on the Switch. So a bunch of games that they've been talking about, but it's nothing on Final Fantasy IX. So that's why I'm curious to know. They're pushing all their games now. This is a perfect time to say, hey, we got this, and here's what I'm bringing you next year. So, yeah, I mean, I hope we hear something. So, and you know what, that's what I got for you guys today. You know, thank you guys so much for watching. Stick around till the end, being able to, you know, hear my roundup. And earlier this week, I brought out a video of my journey through Platinum retirement for Yudian Chronicles 100 Heroes. I got the Platinum, and I give you the review of whether or not you should bring this game into your trophy cabinet. So, for me, definitely check it out. It was a game that was a grind, but definitely get to see my thoughts on it and what you guys think about If you've ever played a Union Chronicles, let me know who your team was. I tell you all about who my team was in the video, so definitely check it out. I'm going to link it in the description, and hey, check out that video. And not only that, I am in a weekly gaming podcast with Dark Knight 316, where we talk about gaming news, culture, just whatever the hot topics are, as well as there might be a loot box here and there where we, show off something that we bought, maybe a game, some cards, something. But definitely it's entertaining, it's fun. It comes from lifelong gamers who just passionate about bringing you the gaming news and our thoughts on just the gaming industry. And we want to bring back the way that gaming industry should be in our podcast, our reviews. We want to bring it back on how we remember it and how we want to bring it to you guys. So definitely check out that podcast we have weekly. We're coming to 20 episodes, and I'll link it in the description for you guys to be able to check it out. But, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you guys, and remember, keep gaming. Thanks, guys.